Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest show on earth. As always, I'm your co-host, Caleb Griffin,
I'm your other co-host, Evan Lytle.
and you're watching Two Nerds on a Boat That We Don't Own. Cue the theme song.
Two nerds on a boat. Two nerds on a boat. Two nerds on a boat that we don't own. Two nerds on a boat. Two nerds on a boat. Two nerds on a boat that we don't own. It's Caleb and Evan and Caleb. We're on a boat and we don't own it. Two nerds on a boat. Two nerds on a boat. Two nerds on a boat that we don't own.
As always, before we get started, I gotta ask Evan, how's your week going, man?
It's going. Laid back. Everything's cool.
Nice. As we talked about right before the show started, Bulldog Bash got announced today. For those of you listening who don't know, Bulldog Bash is this free concert that my university puts on every year, and the artist for this year is Surfaces. So that's pretty cool. Um, Excited to go watch that. So that's been like the highlight of my week so far. But that being said, I say we hop on straight into the news we got to talk about
All
because
right.
this past weekend D23 took place, and it was not at all what I was expecting.
Not at
It was
all.
very disappointing, in fact. And I don't want to say this is a reflection of how the MCU is going because it's not just the MCU stuff that they announced that was disappointing. It was just all around. Everything they announced was pretty disappointing, except for a few exceptions, which we'll talk about. But someone has to do something about Disney because they own everything and they're going to continue to buy out everything else until they own everything I care about. And when that happens, this is how it's going to keep going. And I'm not a fan of Disney at the moment because it just keeps getting worse.
Me too. Really. I didn't know what I was expecting or hoping for. I had a few things in mind, but I know that I got nothing of what I wanted,
Nope.
and that's okay. Sometimes you're not gonna get what you want, but like at the when I look back at it, it wasn't even worth investing the time to like watch the live streams or anything. I was like, I should have just waited till the posts and stuff.
Yeah, it was very stupid. There were two main things that I wanted to happen, and I wanted to see the cast for Fantastic Four, or really, there was this whole list of actors and actresses that was spoiled to say at D23 they will be announcing what these actors will be playing in the MCU, and we got nothing from any of those people at all. And then something about Spider-Man 2. I didn't even care what it was, whether it
Mhm,
was gameplay, whether it was if they ever announce a title for Spider-Man 2 that's not just Spider-Man 2,
mhm.
suits that are gonna be in the game. I didn't care. I just wanted to see something. And we've got absolutely nothing about it. And it's kinda disappointing. I know Disney doesn't completely own Spider-Man, but
Right.
they own different parts to them. And you're celebrating 60 years of Spider-Man this year, and there was nothing Spider-Man related at all. They didn't even talk about freshman year at D23.
Nope.
So I was very disappointed in all of that, and that's what I was expecting from it, and I didn't get anything of that like that.
I knew that I wanted something related to Spider-Man and Wolverine, and I knew I wanted something related to Jedi Survivor, and I got none of that, and I was a little bummed. I was actually very bummed. I was very upset and very sad, and I was like, "Well, this was not worth it."
In terms of like gaming stuff, we really didn't get much, honestly. We got
Mhm.
one trailer that actually does look really, really good. The unnamed Black Panther and Captain America video game. The
Yeah.
trailer, it didn't really give us much about like what the game is. We know it is like an actual big game that's going to be like
Mhm.
one of those $60, $70 games that are going to be on all the like Xbox, PlayStation, possibly PC. And we know like who's going to be in the game. You're going to have Captain America, Black Panther, a Wakandian spy who not sure who it's going to be because it takes place like in
I
the 40s,
I think
and
it's
it's
gonna just be one of the Dora Milaje. Like,
yeah,
maybe not a specific one, but
just one of them. You're
yeah.
probably right. And then Bucky's going to be in the game,
Yep.
and the trailer, like I said, it doesn't show much about the game, but it looks incredible from
Mhm.
what we're seeing in the trailer. It looks very, very good, and it's a game I'm excited to play. It's the same people who made an Uncharted, which is a
Yep.
game I never really played, but I've heard it's one of the greatest games that PlayStation has had.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really and then there was some, like, Marvel gaming apps that I'm never gonna
Yeah.
download that was announced, and other than that, that's really all the gaming we got, which is very disappointing.
Yep. I was very disappointed because they showed, like, the little clips of different trailers. I was very disappointed because there's a brief shot and it's Cal Kestis, and he's walking on some planet. I was like, "Oh, sweet, we're gonna get some Jedi Survivor stuff." Never happened. They showed, like, the alien from the Alien franchise. I was like, "Oh, that game might be cool," and it turned out to be a mobile strategy strike game. I was like, "Well, that's disappointing."
Stupid.
I was actually really excited for the Tron game, and then I saw that it was like the John Wick Hex creators, and that's literally like it's not immersive. It's kind of just like connecting lines to pull off trick shots and stuff for assassinations. I'm like, I mean, I get Tron is basically like that, but I'd rather play something immersive where it's like a first or
Right.
third person.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
Avatar game, I'm a little excited for the Avatar game, but it's also like it's such a big franchise already, just like movies alone, that I don't, like, have to have a game, but I'll probably still end up getting it if it's on, like, sale just to see what
Yeah.
it's about,
Hmm.
and the Captain America game looks pretty fun.
Yeah. Um, I don't know when any of these games are supposed to be released. I don't know if there were any release date or years given. As for the Avatar game, I mean, I'm just not a huge Avatar fan. I mean, I'm gonna go see Way of the Water when it comes out. Obviously, I think everyone's gonna go see it. Um, but I'm not a big enough fan to buy the game unless, like you said, it comes on sale and I can get it for cheap. But so outside of gaming, we got some shows announced and we got some announcements about movies, but you know, most of the
Very little
news,
trailers. It
yeah,
was just, like, title drops.
yeah. One trailer we did get the Secret Wars, and it does
Yes.
look very, very good.
It looks
And
excellent.
it looks incredible. Like Nick Fury, no eye patch.
Uh-huh.
Um, Talos looked very, very good. It looked like we're gonna get some evil scrolls, possibly.
Yeah.
Um, it's so exciting because it looks like something Marvel should be making,
Right.
where it's got some spy content to it, but not a whole lot. It's got some action, and just the story itself looks like it's going to be fantastic. Now, given the state of all the Disney Plus shows we've gotten, I don't really want to jump out on a limb and say, "Oh my gosh, this show is going to be great," because that could have
Because
been
the
said
trailer
about
looks great. Yeah.
yeah, that could have been said about almost all of the Disney Plus shows. Um, but with how good this trailer looks, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and call it right now. I think this is gonna be the best Disney Plus show we're gonna get.
I
Um,
think so.
I think it's gonna be more like a movie than any of the other
Mhm.
ones, and the fact that we're finally getting more of Nick Fury and the Scrolls, and we get to see Maria Hill again, and
Yeah.
all these like earlier phase characters tying into the new stuff, I think could help transition Marvel better to the new era we're in with the MCU, and they really need a good transition because so far it's sucking it up. But
Yep. I think it looked really good. They dropped a huge, like, power play because everybody wanted Emilia Clarke to be recast as Mira in Aquaman, and Secret Wars dropped that Marvel's hired and they have Emilia Clarke already, and she's gonna be some character in Secret Wars. I was like, "That's crazy." Now,
yeah,
obviously, I mean, she could still play for DC, but I mean, that was just like a, "What? She's in
yeah,
here now?" You know? I mean, I think it looks really good. I think it's them finally putting because these shows, for those who don't know, these shows get like more of a budget than the movies do, and so
like
it looks like they're finally putting that budget to good use. And I'm like, this is gonna be good.
that's the thing they better because of the CGI on
Yeah,
She Hulk looks god awful.
awful. Yeah, it's so bad.
If you can't have the CGI look good for the scrolls, you might as well not even make a show
Right.
because with how if I'm constantly looking at a bad looking scroll, I'm not gonna want to watch it, and
Hmm.
I still will. But and the budget, like you said, the budget for each episode of a show is like almost the same as a full movie.
Yep.
And you can kind of see that in some of the shows, and in some of the shows you can't. I mean, She-Hulk, the CGI looks just as bad as the CGI did for episodes of Agent Carter whenever they had to use CGI. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look good at all, and it makes you wonder, like, where is this budget going to? Because you have a massive budget, and I'm really hoping that Secret Wars, the budget is used properly. I'm sure a big chunk of that budget has to go to Samuel L. Jackson, but
Yeah.
you know, he is the best Nick Fury we've ever seen. He's better than David Hasselhoff was, that's for sure.
For sure.
He's another one of those people, like, no one's going to play the role better than him. And so I'll pay him whatever he wants, because you need him as Nick Fury if you want the show to work. And we get more of Rhodey, which is exciting. Man, I just really hope this is good. I'm trying so hard not to get my hopes up for it, but I just can't help but imagine, like, this is about to be the best Disney Plus show we've ever had.
Yep. I think so, but I'm in the same boat. I don't want to hype it up for myself too much that when it actually comes out, I'm like, oh, it's just all right.
Yeah.
And then we also got the Werewolf by Night teaser trailer, and that actually comes out way quicker than I thought. That was like, I mean, it is surprising to me how much Marvel can keep under wraps with some projects. Like, I had no idea that was going to be a thing. Nobody had mentioned it. Nothing exactly, and then they drop it, and it's coming out Halloween, October 31st.
Like, what's the name of the actor playing him?
I don't know.
I can't remember his name, but like when his name dropped, I was like, we get like this leaks that these people have been casted by Disney, and we never know what projects they are, but we know they're doing something. We never got his name dropped in any type of rumor. Like, the fact that Marvel was able to keep this under wraps for so long, like, that's one of the first times that's happened. And this is a show that I hope it's good. Is it a show, or is it just like a special?
I think it's more of a special. I don't think it's gonna be like a weekly show. If it is a show, it might drop all at once, or it might be like maybe an hour and a half long, but like not a movie.
Yeah, right.
But I think it's really interesting. I think it's gonna be cool because it's kind of like the '40s monster movies, but like still a little comedic, still actiony because it's related to Marvel. But the big thing about it for me is like that's monsters, so Blade may correlate somewhere in there.
This could be the first or the second showing we have a Blade in the MCU, which
I'm really hoping so.
Yeah. And speaking of Blade, this is a little bit off topic, but right now, or last time I checked, Morbius was the second most watched movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible? Like, are people watching it because of how bad it is, or did people just not go see it in theaters because it was so bad and waited for it to stream? But
I didn't even expect Netflix to get it. I came home from a friend's house, and like Sunday morning, I'm like, or not morning, but like sometime during Sunday, I was like, man, I just want to watch something. I turn on Netflix and I see Morbius, and at the time it was like the number one. Everybody was watching it that day, and I was like, huh, they put Morbius on here, and it just caught me so off guard.
Yeah. But getting back to D23, I mean, there was some stuff that was announced that was pretty cool, including Secret Wars and wasn't the boy named Werewolf or something like that? What's it called?
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. Yeah, I don't know what I was getting at, but we're also getting a National Treasure show without Nicolas Cage, or at least we don't think it's going to have Nicolas Cage, which sucks. I mean, if Nicolas Cage wasn't casted in National Treasure, I don't think anybody watches it.
No, I think it's too iconic. I think he made too many people's childhood with those two movies. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to make a budget for something like National Treasure, why not make a third movie instead of a TV show without Nicolas Cage? It's like, it makes this part of Disney makes me so mad, because it's like you're taking something that is classic and timeless and you're changing it too much. Like, I'm okay with adding new characters or making something to a TV show, but when there's one guy who makes the franchise, you have to have that guy at least come back for a cameo or an episode or two. It's like, it's doing National Treasure without Nicolas Cage is like doing Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp,
without Johnny Depp. Yeah,
which Disney's in the process of doing right now, by the way. That wasn't
yeah,
announced at D23, but it's been rumored that they have a script in place and Johnny Depp's not a part of it. Which
yep,
that was right before the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trials and all that took place. Now that that's over and Johnny Depp's kind of won that whole situation, it's possible that Disney could go back and get Johnny Depp, but Johnny Depp makes that franchise. Same with Nicolas Cage and National Treasure. You can't do something in that franchise without them. It doesn't make sense. And
right.
it's just adding up for a tank in the box office or in the reviews to me.
Yeah, I think it's very. I think it's almost like a franchise suicide if they have like an iconic role and then they just cast it out. And I mean, it's also like what you're talking about, just iconic stuff. Like, I'm a little sick of Disney because their other titles that dropped is like Snow White. They're making a Mufasa movie, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're doing The Little Mermaid, which I think is going to be cool. Just for like the representation matters. I think it'll be different, and I'm gonna watch it. They're doing Disenchanted. I mean, but it's like what I'm a little bummed about is it's all prequels or sequels to something that everybody knows. And so it's like you guys can be original, like you don't
Yeah.
have to stick to this stuff.
I mean, that's the thing. Pixar is like the last original left under the
Hmm.
Disney circle. Um, at least literally, look at Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi, unoriginal and sucked. You look
Yep.
at Rogue One, original and was very good. Obviously, Disney has the power to go get the most creative minds out there, and that's why I
Right.
think Andor is going to be really good. And the Mufasa story. I mean, you're taking a character that already exists and you're doing what to it? I mean,
Yeah. And
it doesn't seem to be good.
you know how his story ends. I mean, his brother kills him. I mean, I mean, but like Snow White, that's adding to their collection of live action princess movies, and so is The Little Mermaid. So I mean, those
Yeah,
I can kind of like, I guess, give it leeway just to see how they're going to be done. Disenchanted, I think will be interesting because a lot of people have waited like 30
yeah,
plus years, maybe 20 years ish for it. Um,
I love
and
Enchanted,
so
dude.
yeah,
It's
and
good.
that's what's gonna make this one interesting is like
Yeah,
they're twisting the story a little bit, not like the original story, but it's like I
is
wonder how this is gonna play out.
is what's her face coming back for it?
I know Amy Adams is, and
Yeah,
so
that's what I was
is
talking about. Amy Adams.
James Marsden or whatever, the guy
Hmm.
who plays the love interest. He's also coming back.
Yeah, I mean, really, other than the Secret Wars, Disenchanted might be the happiest I am about something that was announced at D23. Like, which that shouldn't be
Mandalorian
the case.
season 3.
Mandalorian season 3. We haven't gotten into that
Yeah.
yet, but let's go ahead and get into that. Mandalorian season
All right.
3. The trailer looked very good.
I think so. It looks very good, actually. Like,
Yeah, you did what you needed to do. You brought back Dave Filoni and you brought back John Favreau. They
yep.
have made 2 very good seasons so far. And the best part about Boba Fett was The Mandalorian,
Was it?
and
Yep.
you're just picking up from there. So I don't see how Disney can mess this up. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It's Dave Filoni and
I know.
or
Yep.
John Favreau, so I have plenty of faith in them. So this is something I'm okay getting excited about and not having to
Yep.
worry too much about them letting me down.
Yep. I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like to a degree, I'm kind of hoping this concludes the story.
Hmm.
Just because like for me, any show I've watched that goes like 4 plus seasons can get a little weary and rough. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'd be fine with them cutting it off at 3 seasons as long as they end it well. Uh, or if season 4 is like really good, if they even plan on doing a season 4.
yeah,
Uh,
you're right.
so I mean that's kind of I'm not predicting this to be the final season in no way at all. But at the same time, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they kind of like wrap it up.
Yeah,
So that's kind of
and
how I feel about season 3.
I'm kind of the same way. If it's if you can make a great season 4, if you can keep the same team on it for that long, great. If you can't, you know, all good things have to come to an end at some point. Um,
Hmm.
you know, that's just how life works. Um,
Yep.
and this could be one of those good things that comes to an end, no matter how sad I am. I mean, I'm happy that Disney was able to show they can be creative and make something
Yeah.
original within a world that Disney didn't even create. Like, you know, it's been a very great show. My favorite part about the holiday season is the fact that I get to watch a season of Mandalorian from October
Yep.
to Christmas, and I didn't have that last year, which kind of sucked. But and I'm not gonna have it this year either, which is also gonna kind of suck. But The Mandalorian is just a great show, and I'm excited for a season three. And I'll be at peace if they can end it in a good way. Just don't end it
Yeah.
crappy. Don't have Baby Yoda kill Din Djarin or something. Like,
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't either. I was just trying to think of something stupid that they would do to ruin
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I never understood like how he has the dark saber, and then they're like, "Yeah, but you took your helmet off, so you're not really a Mandalorian." It's like, but the dark saber rules all of them,
Yeah, and Bo
and I think
Katan
that's
takes her helmet
yeah,
off.
I think that's why he's going back to Mandalore, and I think it's gonna be cool to see the live action Siege of Mandalore
Oh
that
my
they
gosh,
seem to like hint at.
that would be
And
incredible.
then
If
along with that, they did the Ahsoka announcements,
hmm
which I mean they cast the live action Ezra Bridger, so that'll be
hmm
interesting.
Yeah,
Just because I mean like Rebels was always canon, but it kind of like confirms it even more, I guess.
right. Rebels wasn't good though, but that doesn't mean live action can't be good.
Yeah,
I'm very
I mean,
very excited for like the Star Wars shows, even though Obi-Wan was such a failure.
yeah,
Most of the like coming up Star Wars shows is like canon stuff too, like
hmm,
Ahsoka, for example, even Andor. Like we've had one movie with him.
yeah,
Let's see some more of his story before the events of Rogue One, And the Andor
hmm,
trailer, which dropped before D23, looks very, very good. So this might be at a point to where I'm more hopeful about Star Wars content than Marvel content, which is
I
rare
think so.
because
I think
I
I
mean,
am at this point.
yeah, I am too. It's weird to say that though, but you know,
Yeah,
one of the reasons why is because Marvel's doing things like putting Taskmaster in the Thunderbolts.
exactly. Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't really crazy hyped or anything for the Thunderbolts lineup, and I'm not even really like that. I mean, obviously it's gonna come out unless something happens. But like, there's nothing about it that really attracts me to the idea of the Thunderbolts. I
Right.
mean, besides seeing how this team like came together, like what Valentina's whole plan was. That's the
Yeah,
only reason I think I'll watch it. I mean,
same.
like the cast is cool. Some of the characters are cool. I mean, it's literally a whole super soldier team, and I don't really care about that. It's just like, I mean, Black Widow in the sense of like a spy type movie like this could be kind of disappointed me. So I mean, unless it's like Winter Soldier level good, then I probably won't be that happy with it.
That's fair. I mean, to me, I'm just curious, are they good guys or bad guys? Because
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean, it's
mean,
Bucky. I feel like to a degree, it's got to be good guys.
yeah, it's just Valentina just seems so evil.
Yeah,
Like I
or
feel like
just like, yeah,
there's something like not con artist, sus, I guess, about whatever she's in that we still don't know.
yeah.
Um, but my
I
thing
mean,
is like
they
you can
do
go
have
ahead.
Ghost on the team, so I think it'd be cool to kind of see like an Ocean's 11 type with this
That
crew.
would be sick. That'd be awesome. They
Yeah,
like
but
have to
like I
steal some
don't.
vibranium or something.
Yeah, I don't have to have Taskmaster. I wasn't pleased with the way they did her now. They did Taskmaster, the character in Black Widow. I was like the idea of this little girl still being alive after a whole bomb blew the whole building up. That can't be right. And the fact that she's still aged, like the head's still aged. I'm like, but I mean, I'm okay with that because it freaked me out if it was like still a little girl head.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
like, but I mean, that was a dumb play by Marvel or whoever the
Oh,
screenwriters were. I
very, very, very dumb. I think they literally used Taskmaster as hype for the Black Widow movie
yeah,
because people love Taskmaster. He's one of the like favorite villains of Marvel Comics because one, he's not such a big deal to where you put him in something like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna kill everybody. But two, he like fights so many different heroes in the comic books.
Right.
And three, his ability is just cool. And it's not a computer that gives him its ability, it's him.
Right.
And if you want to make it a woman, that's fine. Don't make it a computerized woman and don't give her backstory.
Yeah.
Don't make her backstory stupid.
Yeah.
Like there was no need for Black Widow was a good movie, honestly. Like it was a lot better than I expected it to be. And there was like a few complaints, but the biggest complaint was how they did Taskmaster because they did Taskmaster in a stupid way, which sucks because I would love to see live action Taskmaster done properly. But and I think at least from what I could tell, Marvel got the hate for how they did Taskmaster pretty heavily.
Yeah.
And yet they're still, and once again, Taskmaster, the way that movie ended, is not a character you have to bring back for any reason. Like, you can say her story's over. Why are you bringing her back when you know how hated she is? Right. It doesn't make sense. Nobody I know likes Taskmaster from Black Widow, but I don't want to say it ruins Thunderbolts for me because, we still get John Walker, who I really like. We still get Yelena, who I really like. It's possible Haley Steinfeld might show up.
It is possible.
Yeah, I don't know though. That was kind of a crappy announcement to me. I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to announce? You don't want to announce that John Krasinski is Reed Richards? Like, I feel like that's another thing they did. They used John Krasinski as hype to get people to watch or go to D23 and said nothing about him. We got the director's name for the movie. Yay. Why don't we get the cast? Like, come on, Disney. I want to know where these, there was a bunch of actors and actresses' names they had listed. Like, these are going to be announced at D23 to be some type of character. Where did that list come from? I guarantee you it was a marketing tool by Disney. They dropped that list of names with no intention of anything happening, which sucks.
I mean, people were still gonna go, but that'd have made it more worth I don't know how much it cost to get in there, but I'm sure if they announced one of the lists I saw was like John Krasinski, John Boyega, Henry Cavill. There's a bunch of big names. Those three come to mind, and then it's like nothing. Yeah, and I was like, well, that's disappointing. I was more excited. I was just more excited with the Glass Onion trailer that came out. I was like, literally 3-minute trailer was better than D23.
We had 2 trailers come out in the past 2 weeks that are better than D23. One being Glass Onion, which on Rotten Tomatoes already has 94%, which is incredible. The world premiere
that's gonna be the holiday watch.
Literally, like the world premiere already happened, and there was this video. Madeline Klein missed it because her dress didn't come in or something. But after the world premiere on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 94% movie. And then 2, the Babylon movie with Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. That trailer, it's a 3-hour movie. And Tobey Maguire. That's a 3-hour movie. I don't know if I'm going to go watch it, but those 2 trailers alone topped what we got from D23. Because D23, we got one good trailer, a couple of good announcements, and one video game trailer. So, Michael, what the crap, Disney? I get you announced a bunch of stuff at San Diego Comic-Con, but you can't tell me there wasn't more you could have announced. You got to give us something better than that. If you're going to plan an entire conference, a 3-day event, give us something. And don't name drop people to get us to watch or pay attention. If you're not planning on dropping it, that's low down, that's dirty. I mean, and that's just Disney. Disney is getting to the point to where they're bad, to where I hate the franchise. I don't know, man. It makes me so mad. And if Sony ends up selling the rest of Spider-Man not back to Disney, but to Disney, it's going to be a nightmare because I think at this point, Sony can do a better job with Spider-Man than Disney can. And that's going to be reminiscent on freshman year because Sony has made plenty of good Spider-Man animation. Disney has too with Ultimate Spider-Man, but we'll see how good freshman year is. And, I don't know. that I'm just mad.
Yep. I think it's interesting that they did like a last minute change for freshman year. Like it was supposed to be connected, and then they're like, never mind. But that'll be interesting to watch. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, She-Hulk episode 5 comes out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5, episode 5. But like
Yeah.
they released this like kind of teaser, and it had a lot of Matt Murdock in it
I know.
for the teaser, and I was like, that's what I said to a lot of friends. I was like, this show is so self-aware that people are only watching it for Daredevil that they're like, well, here's the teaser for him, and he might be in the next episode.
He
If
might
he's in the
not
next
be.
episode, yeah. If he is tomorrow when it comes out, if he's in that episode and he's in there and they take him out, I'm done with the show because I got Daredevil.
Yeah,
If he's
literally.
not,
Like, there's no point
yeah,
in watching it anymore. I
yeah,
will watch the finale when it comes out and watch the previously to see what I missed because I don't want to waste 30 minutes of my time on a crappy show.
yeah,
I did notice, of course, when She-Hulk drops, this will drop the same day as She-Hulk does. So we'll know by then whether or not Daredevil is coming and going, or if he's even in that episode. But there was this, you know how they do those squares and they'll have like the actor's name as She-Hulk and they show their
yeah,
picture well, Caleb was showing me all the squares they put together they've done, and it has all
yeah.
the actors or actresses' name with their character, and then the middle it said Bruce Banner as Hulk. Like it didn't say Mark Ruffalo, it just said Bruce Banner, and Caleb was like,
That's pretty funny.
that's so funny. Mark Ruffalo knows the show is such crap. He didn't want his name associated with it, so they just put Bruce Banner as Hulk.
Or
It was really
maybe
funny.
it was supposed to be a little tease to the fact that like his Hulk is still Edward Norton's Hulk, so they're like, well, the
Yeah,
two are the same.
yeah, and I'm so ready for. I need Wakanda Forever to be really good at this point
I
because
know.
I need hope in the MCU again before going into Phase 5 because, or else I'm going into Phase 5 with no confidence whatsoever. And so,
Honestly though, I'm so ready for October. Cause I mean, I like anime. There's a ton of huge animes that are coming out, which are gonna be totally awesome. I'm gonna watch it. There's even gonna be one on Disney Plus, like
hmm
Bleach, which is very popular. It's been out since like the '90s, and
yeah,
that's gonna be streamed on Disney Plus, which I think is weird, but also I'm here for it because it's not like they can ruin it. They're just providing it.
right.
But also, I mean, Black Adam's coming out, and the second Black Adam show it's really good when he faces off against the Justice Society.
hmm
And so that I mean, honestly, I think Black Adam's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna be like the Batman. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a savior for DC. It's gonna get them some money. And then Werewolf by Night, and then I mean, Andor will probably be finishing up by the time.
Yeah.
Or it'll kind of be
So
probably
excited.
mid season when October hits, and so just the fall content is gonna be awesome, and it's gonna
Right.
be worth it.
From now until the end of the year, we have so much greatness, or hopefully greatness, coming out. I
Hmm.
mean, um, by the end of the year, or right at the beginning of next year, we'll have Craven. Go a little further back, we'll have Glass Onion. We'll
Yep.
have Andor, Black Adam, Black Panther. When does the Flash come out? Is that's this year too, isn't it?
Uh, I don't know anymore, really. It's kind of,
Yeah,
I mean, I know that it's still predicted to come out. I don't know when. I don't know if they're still going through some things with all this stuff with Ezra Miller.
right.
Um, but I mean, it's like I've said. I think every time since I brought it up is that I mean, apparently the reviews for it are really good.
Incredible. Yeah, that's what I've been
Yeah,
seeing.
like they say it's like the best since the Nolan trilogy, and I'm like, well, that's gonna be interesting. So,
Yeah,
but
but
I don't know if it's still planned on coming out this year or not.
yeah, we'll have to see. I hope it does. But so much greatness, or hopefully greatness, coming out between October
Hmm.
and December. So looking forward to
And I
that.
mean, and we'll be here the whole time to talk about it on this
We'll
little
be
boat of ours that we don't
we'll be
know.
we'll be riding the boat, man, just chilling,
Yeah,
going along with the waves. So yeah, I think that does it for this
I
episode of
think
Two
so.
Nerds on a Boat That We Don't Own. I'm Caleb Griffin.
I'm Evan Lytle.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.